I feel like sometimes people are too quick to judge.
Yeah.
And yes, I don't blame those who think that I'm not the obvious choice. I think that's what happened. People are like, oh, but don't you think this one is more suitable? And they're talking about people who are, there's a certain vision or a certain what they've done. So yes, there is an obvious choice for this film. I stopped reading comments very early on in my life. Because I was like, listen, one can totally get sucked into this whole aspect of what are people saying about me. And that's a very difficult place to be in, because then you'll start micromanaging everything. Also, my last female, you can say that, like, film that was led by me, which was Razi, did very well at the box office for the kind of film it was also. And it, like, even till date, I can feel that in terms of commercial success, it was a big success. I would like it to do, you know, come close to that or do more than that or whatever it is for me to feel like there's been growth.
But there are also rumors that you are doing another film with Sanjay sir, which is Baiju Bawra, if I'm not wrong. So, are you doing it? कहते हैं बॉलीवुड और बॉक्स ऑफिस पे कभी अमावस का चांद नहीं होता, क्योंकि वहाँ आलिया भट्ट होती है. आलिया हमेशा से चांद थी, चांद है और चांद रहेगी. Actually, dramatic था intro, but let me just introduce you as the person who I have known for the longest time. People do feel and they claim that I am biased towards you, which I am. I am admittedly biased towards you because of your craft and because of the human that you are. Not many know that we go a long way, Alia, but with every little move that you have in your life, personally or professionally, there is one person at least who's really happy from the heart. And Gangubai Kathiawadi is going to be remembered for your performance, and the trailer has already spoken volumes of it. So welcoming Alia Bhatt in conversation with me on Bollywood Bubble. Hello.
Hello.
After this really long introduction, we just taken 1 minute of mine. I know everybody's looking at me, but couldn't help it. You know, Alia, one thing is for certain, I remember that it was the Kalank song, and they had shown us, and you remember we met at Dharma, and then and I told you that I know that you've signed the movie, and said, don't say, kal tak ruk ja, and then I think you signed that film, and then it was announced. Inshallah, this was Inshallah, of course.
Yes.
But I want to know that when the teaser came out, there were a lot of people who felt that you're too young or you look childish to play Gangubai. Not many knew that the story starts when she's 16 years old. You know? I've heard the story on a podcast, so I knew it, and I was, of course, defending you, and again, biased, but defending you. But now when the trailer has come out, the same people have turned around and said that, oh my God, we are mind blown. Did you see those reactions?
Yes, I did, and actually that made me feel quite relieved in a way, because I feel like what happens many times, especially in the creative industry, in the film industry, because it is the industry that is there for you, like for you to like pass your judgment on. I feel like sometimes people are too quick to judge. And yes, I don't blame those who think that I'm not the obvious choice. I think that's what happened. People are like, oh, but don't you think this one is more suitable? And they're talking about people who are, there's a certain vision or a certain what they've done. So yes, there is an obvious choice for this film. But I would only say one thing, and that's what I felt even at that time, is that, okay, you can question me, but you can't question a maker who has been working for 25 years. Absolutely. He knows who he wants for his movie. So I was just being patient. I was like, chalo, let the film release now. I mean, jo bhi hum pehle karte hai, whatever poster, teaser, trailer, that's just a small lead in. Eventually, it's the film that does what it needs to do. But of course, I want people to want to come and watch the film. So I was pretty relieved when I actually have never done that, but I went for the first time and I read comments on YouTube. I stopped reading comments very early on in my life, because I was like, listen, one can totally get sucked into this whole aspect of what are people saying about me, and that's a very difficult place to be in, because then you'll start micromanaging everything in your life.
But did it affect you ever in the beginning, or
never?
No, not about this film. Initially, the comments and the trolling, did it ever?
No, I never paid attention to it. Like I'm saying, I mean, what you don't know, you don't feel bad of, and there is conversation about it, but I would block it off, because I'm like, okay, chalo, it's not something, I'm not done anything to upset or hurt anybody, or I'm not really this thing. And if there is some sort of trolling or whatever and all, if it's pointless, then I should not matter. They should not matter. And chalo, if there's something that I've done, like maybe they don't like something, a creative thing, then I think it's their right to have opinions. So I look at it in that way, and I'm like, chalo, I'm not sitting over here waiting for the whole world to be obsessed with me. But yeah, I was basically, to answer your question, I was pretty relieved when that happened.
Even I felt very happy.
And I'm hoping that there is even there are still a 5% who feels that whatever. I'm hoping that will change with the film. And the other 2%, maybe they just don't like me now. I can't help that.
Yeah. So, Alia, I remember meeting you just after Shandar, and that was possibly the only film of yours that didn't work. And it had hit you badly. Over the years, all your films have worked, except that. But Gangubai is your biggest film, solo film, which is completely on your shoulders. So, of course, there's an added pressure. Do you feel that? And secondly, how has your perspective towards failure changed over the years?
So I would be lying if I'm saying that I don't feel the pressure. Only because there's also a bit of an ambiguity with cinemas, are people willing to go, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Also, I've added my own expectation. It's my first film with Sir. I've always wanted to work with him. His films have always worked and been blockbusters and done so well. I don't want him to have a film that doesn't do well because of me.
Yeah.
And it's a character based on me, so I will have that feeling. Also, my last female, you can say that, like, film that was led by me, which was Razi, did very well at the box office for the kind of film it was also. And it, like, I even till date, I can feel that in terms of commercial success, it was a big success. I would like it to do, come close to that or do more than that or whatever it is for me to feel like there's been growth. And I'm being extremely candid and honest, but they know how they say you hope for the best and you prepare for the worst. I just feel like it's the kind of film that I've put so much hard work and effort into. I would be extremely disappointed and heartbroken if I felt like it would not reach the people.
Yeah.
But I don't believe, for some reason, I feel like it is a film that will not disappoint.
Of course it won't.
I hope, and I feel it, but you can never be too sure. So you always have to hope, like you have to always hope for the best. And you can't be too pompous, ki ye karegi, you can't be that way because you never know on the palette. But I think so far, whatever we have tried to communicate has hit. Like, I can tell in terms of responses that people are saying, that moment, that thought, ye aapke dialogue ke baad ye. These are all nuances that we talk about.
Yeah.
Which, if it's translating now, I don't see how it can't translate on the big screen. But again, you have to see.
No, absolutely, because if I'm talking about 10 friends of mine, some of them who are not your fans, but they also want to watch the movie. So there's, of course, a sense of eagerness to watch the movie. How important is it for the film to work? Because, it's a larger conversation. In the film, Gangubai stands up for women's rights. In movies, we've always seen women standing up with each other for women's rights. Today, we've come to a space where there are more female, films led by female protagonists. Let's not call them women-centric, but I'm saying more films led by strong female characters, and they're doing really well. Like, if we see Deepika's film, or maybe Tanu Weds Manu, and then Manikarnika, then Razi, then this one, because these are made on a grand level. Then I spoke to Tapsi. She said that these films have to work for the producers. Producers are pay disparity पैसे के लिए नहीं बोलते, budget के लिए बोलते हैं कि women's centric movie है तो पैसा कम होगा. How many times have you heard that, and do you think it will change eventually?
I feel if the film commercially performs at the box office, then you have the right to ask for that much money.
Yeah.
I always believe you should not demand it, you should command it.
True.
And I'd like to believe that our producers are very fair. And if they feel like you are worth that much, and by worth I mean in terms of the number you bring to the theatre.
True.
And the number of the value, it's a strange way to put it in terms of like, oh, your value is this much, but if we're talking numbers, this is what it is. So yeah, I would like this film, which is why when Razi was a commercial success, it was a talking point.
Yeah.
So similarly, if Gangubai is a commercial success and it's a film that is modeled on one character, I think gender is not the main plot point over here. It's not about which gender she is. It's about what kind of personality she is, what kind of person she is, how she says her lines, how she speaks. Like, it doesn't matter whether she's a she or a he or a they or a them. Like, it doesn't matter. And I genuinely believe that. Like, I think if you write the character well, people will want to see it.
Yeah.
And it's all in the writing. But we are a male-dominated society. This is not about industry. As a society, the viewership is 75% male.
Yeah.
So now it's like, okay, you have to see now. You have to try and give them reason to go. And the women are coming to watch the film. So it's a little bit of a weird situation. Like, you're like, okay, the women will come, the men will come, family film, ye, wo, and all. I think I'm hopefully it all comes together and people are just responding to content and not to the gender.
Yeah. But you know, talking about family, how did the family react to the film's trailer?
They've seen the film.
Oh wow.
So,
Everybody in the family has seen the film?
are you talking about Ranbir?
Oh wow. If you've got it, great.
I can tell you with your expression. Yes, everybody in the family has seen the film.
And what did he think of the film? Actually,
Can you
everybody.
ask him?
No, I want to ask you, what did everybody in the family
No,
think?
I think the overall vibe is,
Great.
I did this, now you see whatever you want out.
You know, I
मैं
saw...
खुद की तारीफ नहीं कर सकती हूँ.
Yeah, but Ranbir is a great guy. He's come and I think he was there somewhere and he did this.
Yeah.
And it's sweet. There is a film, Brahmastra, which is also very, very anticipated. There is a film called Rocky or Rani. There is Darlings, which is your first production, and I am so excited about it because I know that you put your heart in the right place. And there is Jee Le Zara. When are all these things like panned out? Like I want to know when Jee Le Zara is happening because we don't know. Baki to ho gaya almost.
End of the year we start shooting for it.
Okay.
Like around September, October or something like that. Like that's the window for it. For all the women to come together and take the car out.
Yeah.
That's when that's happening. And what else was your question?
No, I'm saying my question was that all these movies, they're in different spaces.
Yes.
Is it a conscious move that way?
I get this question a lot. Is it conscious? Is it conscious? Now I sometimes
Or does
say,
it happen organically for you?
For organically, consciously, it becomes an organic choice. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I understand.
Like वो naturally मेरे में आ जाता है कि वो जो हाँ अलग करते हैं तो different, nice combination, cute. Like that. It's not like it's like, next move, sitting at home plotting, want one film this way and I go out searching for that. It kind of works out in a way. It's not too clinical, but there is obviously thought to it.
But there are also rumors that you are doing another film with Sanjay sir, which is Baiju Bawra, if I'm not wrong. So, are you doing it? What is this expression?
It's my no comments expression. Without saying no comments. It's like...
Okay, but you know, more power to you. I've always said this, that there was a point of time when I was questioned, when I was 22, what is he doing, how old is he? And I know that you've also been, you also faced that kind of, it's also age shaming in a way, but you have worked against it, against the tide and made it your own. And I always say this, that people respect the generation and the craft of this generation of actors a lot more because there's an Alia Bhatt in our generation, and I'm very, very proud to say that. More power to you, and I know Gangubai Kathiawadi is going to be an amazing film, and yeah, whenever you succeed, it feels way too personal.
Oh, so sweet. Thank you.